Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm playing with alcohol ink today. I have these Ranger Hardcore alcohol ink panels. They come 3 panels to a package and they are 5 by 7 inches. And I'm just going to lay down some initial background color using a felt pad, some alcohol blending solution, and 3 colors of alcohol ink, which I will show you in a second. Just put some blending solution on the pad first. And I chose Poppy Field, which is a kind of a clear red color. My camera's not focusing close up, so I'll just let you know what they are. Butterscotch, which is a like a yellow ochre color, a mustard color. It looks dark when it goes on the pad, but it's really, you'll see it's yellow. And then I wanted a pink, so I chose a watermelon. It's a pinkish red color, watermelon color. And then I have alcohol ink in a dropper bottle, and I'm just drizzling alcohol ink all over the face of that panel. And then I'm just going to smush and twist and turn and pounce and get the color going down on my background. And it will intermix and move, and in some places I'm sliding it, other places I'm just pouncing it, knowing that it will continue to move because I put the alcohol down. So it's pretty all by itself. I love alcohol ink. They're unpredictable, but they're always just so pretty. Now, if you watched any of the Creativation videos, you know that Tim Holtz came out with a alcohol ink blower, very similar to this one, but at about 3 times the price. So I found this one on Amazon in the camera section, and it's for blowing dust off your camera lenses, and it was super cheap, but it works just fine. Does exactly what you want it to do. Depending on how hard you squeeze the bulb, you can get a pretty decent burst of air, or if you squeeze it real slowly and softly, it just moves the ink a little bit. So now I'm just adding some puddles of alcohol on top of the panel and just blowing the ink around some more. And I hope I don't make you dizzy, but I'm constantly twirling that panel around. And you'll notice as I go here, depending on the angle that I put that air nozzle, I'll get different effects. Like going where I am at the angle I am right now, kind of a 90-degree angle, I guess. It creates lighter spots in the center of the puddle and then little tendrils when you get out towards the end. And if you like an area, just stay right over it and do little puffs of air fast, and you can get the alcohol ink to pretty much dry. It dries really fast anyways, but if you can get it to dry really fast, it will stop moving, and you can kind of capture the looks that you want. Not totally, but you have a much better chance of getting it to stay exactly how you like it by drying it quickly. And I kind of like this little air puffer better than using a hair dryer or a heat tool because those both move the air a little too fast and you end up getting the alcohol ink just moves too quickly and too much to where you don't, this gives you more control, I think. So I'm just putting some butterscotch down. I'm going to speed this up because it's just adding more and more and more alcohol. If there's something of note, I will stop and let you know. So I really like where this is heading. Some of the larger solid areas, I'm just dropping in a little bit of alcohol, just straight alcohol, and letting it bleed out a little bit, and then I'll add a little bit of another color of alcohol on top of it. And I can kind of mix one color on top of another color. Anywhere the straight alcohol goes, it's gonna move whatever ink is in its way anyway, so. But you can see I just keep squeezing that bulb and that corner is dried pretty much in the configuration that I wanted it to stay. Now I'm just adding some straight alcohol into one of the wells of that little palette, and I had these tiny little pointed foam Pixis, Pixxs, I think it is. Anyway, I'm picking up some alcohol just on that tiny little tip and just touching it here and there to just create some little light spots within the areas of the different colors of alcohol. I'm coming to the end. Everything is covered, and I really like this. It was fun to use that air puffer. Was really easy to use and easy to get some effects that I really liked. So it just makes using the alcohol ink a little more controllable and a lot more fun. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. Stay tuned. I'm going to do another alcohol piece on freezer paper and just use a totally different technique for that one. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Here's a couple still shots of the way that panel turned out. I really like it. Good color combo too. For this next piece, I'm using freezer paper and I'm dripping 91% alcohol all over the paper. And I have two felt pads with alcohol ink already on them from a previous project. And for this one, this is the felt pad that I put ink on for the first project that you just watched. And there's a little bit of ink left, and I'm just discharging it all onto the paper. And then I have this one felt pad that had blues and purples on it before it was completely dry, and so I just added some blending solution and started pouncing it all over the paper as well. And as I was pouncing, I noticed these really cool little dots inside of the circles that I was creating using that felt pad. So there I'm pushing down and you can see there's little circles, but I know from past experience that once the alcohol starts to dry, those little circles disappear, and I wanted to keep them. So I thought, maybe if I use that air puffer over top of each little circle that I pounce down, while the little dots are inside of it, I might be able to get them to dry there and stay there instead of continuing to move out into just that amorphous shape. So that's what I'm going to try here in a minute. I'm not sure exactly when I had the epiphany, but it's like as I was making these circles, it's like, geez, I wish those little dots would stay. And as the ink pad got drier and drier, instead of putting ink down, it started to lift it up, and I was lifting off little dots of color, which was also cool. You saw me, I blotted it off onto that paper towel, and I had the paper towel folded in fourths, and it sank all the way through all 4 layers of paper towel. So I have some cool marks on there that I can use for collage. I think at this point I thought, yep, I bet I can get some of those to stay. So I just proceeded pouncing and blowing with the air and pouncing and blowing with the air until there wasn't anything left going down on the paper. And then that's when I realized that the pad was actually starting to lift the ink, and I was getting little white spots and less of a circular pattern, just lifting little white spots there. I think was where I realized that it was really pretty dry and it was starting to just stick to the paper. But I was really, really happy to accidentally figure this out because I love, love, love the way it looks. So I thought, this is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep doing this until the paper is filled up and I have as many little circular spots as I want. And then later on, I will take my markers and just do some doodling on this and it'll be done. So this was the fastest alcohol ink project I've ever done. I think I went back to the blue. Yeah, and there wasn't hardly anything hardly any ink left on that pad, so I really wasn't getting very much. But I was trying little bits here and there, just trying to fill in some of the little white spots, I think is what I was trying to do. And I think if you look real close, you'll see that it's starting to just lift the ink off. Like pull it right off the paper. And here's my paper towel. It's going to be fun to use. I could probably punch pieces or tear pieces, or it'll definitely go in somewhere. And I just mopped up some of that alcohol ink that had the red mixed into it from the previous project. And I'm just kind of hitting some of those little light spots around the edges just to fill them in. And then at some point I noticed that there was still Butterscotch ink in the palette, and there wasn't very much yellow in this piece. So I decided to go into the yellow. There I go. Get a little bit of maybe an orangey color. So then I just started pouncing that on and creating some little dots along the edges, which I also liked. I think this is a good lesson in, if at first you don't succeed with alcohol ink, just keep trying, because I've had a lot of fails with alcohol ink in the past, and I like it so much that I just wanted to keep going and keep trying. And I think I finally found a couple of techniques. I hope you'll try them because they were easy and they were fun. That little air puffer didn't cost very much. I think it was $4 or $5. And I know I will use that a lot. And hey, I can blow off my camera lens with it too. So it's by Polaroid, so it's made pretty well. So I'm just going back in for a little more of that butterscotch color, adding a little here and there. And we're almost to the end here. I get satisfied with my design, and then I just let it dry for a little while. I went and got some coffee. I did hit it with the heat gun carefully though, because I didn't want the paper to curl. And then started playing with my markers. So my objective with the markers was just to look and see where there were definite patterns of color and to just isolate those shapes of colors. So I'm just like going around the circles and then finding if there are separations of colors within the circles, and then isolating those colors. Like right there, I'm isolating that purpley blue from the red. And I just went over the whole thing until I thought I had everything kind of outlined and separated that I wanted, and then I started to further embellish. So I'm just going to speed this up to the end so that you can see I didn't get the whole thing done. At some point, you know, it's time consuming, so every once in a while I'll sit down and do a little bit more until it's finished. So once everything was outlined and isolated, I just started doodling within those outlined areas and just whatever came to mind, lines and circles and dots and what have you. So I will continue to work on this until I get it done or get sick of doing it, whichever comes first. So I'm glad you decided to join me. I hope you're still with me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it out. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you did that. Hit my notification bell and click all so that you're notified when I upload new content. And in the meantime, go make some art. Bye.